Hello, guys, welcome back. I am Ansel, your host of this thing, and today we're going to talk about the second annual for Wonder Woman. So, this story happens in the middle of the Dark Gods storyline back at the Wonder Woman comic book, where in the last issue, at the end of last issue, she was basically kidnapped by the Star Sapphires and taken to Samaron for some reason. But now we find out what that reason is. And actually, the reason was awesome. But first of all, I have to talk about the art. There were two different artists in here. One that draws the present happenings, what is happening right now on Samaron, and other one that works with the flashbacks, because there are a few flashbacks during this issue that were actually very well implemented. Because I usually am allergic to flashbacks, and this is due to some horrible flashback sequences that I've seen reading manga, Japanese comics, and one another comic book from the western part of the world. But in here, these flashbacks were good, were great, and they actually served a purpose for the story that I found very well done. And the artist for these flashbacks really helped with that because it was really good. But both artists were really good. So on the graphic side of the issue of this annual, things were awesome. And another awesome thing is Diana's Star Sapphire costume, which is a little bit different from the one she used during Blackest Night. It is like an updated version of Diana's Starfire costume, but it looks awesome. It really makes her look like a Starfire warrior, and it was also at the same time menacing and lovable. Good design, pretty good design. I loved it. During the first, I'm gonna say third of the issue, things weren't pretty clear on how this annual is connected to the whole Dark Gods storyline. I'm willing even to say that during the first third, I was convinced that this had nothing to do with that, and that she was abruptly kidnapped. As a parenthesis, as an excuse to write this annual and post the main event back at her own comic book, um, just to make these 40 pages exist. But I am happy that I was wrong, because this issue actually had a lot to do with the Dark Gods story, the Dark Gods event, I'm going to say, that is going on right now on Wonder Woman. We find out not only that this is connected to the Dark Gods, but also a little backstory on the Dark Gods, and a little backstory on how this situation is actually connected with what happened in Metal, and also connected, but not as strongly as with Metal, to the Titans that were a big part of the recently finished No Justice mini event. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. We get to know one of the people involved. I'm gonna say people, entities. One of the entities involved in this Dark God situation, and we get to know why he is doing it, and how he does it. And he was pretty well constructed. I really bought into it. I really believed everything that was designed for this particular character's backstory, and I think it was really nice. And I also enjoyed how it presented a contrast between these entities' beliefs and Diana's style, and that was nice. That was really good. There was a few spread pages used for this that were very well implemented. And on this note, I have to say that this issue showcases, well, after all, it is about the Star Sapphires. It showcases Diana's undying love for everyone. How she is just a great person. She is a warrior. She can be violent. She can be aggressive, and because she is an Amazon after all. But not she's not only that, as some writers sometimes forget. She is also a very compassionate person, and that is showcased in here, and I enjoyed it a lot. So it was awesome. By the end, we even have a situation related to this let's say Diana's characteristics that can be considered a little cliched, but it was well done. So overall, this was a very nice issue. By the end, we get a look of oh, oh, what's happening on Earth, and I'm laughing because Jesus Christ, Jason is useless. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So yeah, this was awesome. But before I give my grade, I have to say something. Carol Ferris is referenced on a panel, and the only thing that is said about her, and this is not a spoiler because it just glossed over, it is that she is unavailable right now. What does that mean? What does unavailable mean in here? Is she stuck in another universe? Is she on the other side of the universe? Um, was she left in the dark multiverse? What the hell is going on? We haven't seen her in such a long time. I do believe that the last time we saw her was when Kyle Rayner was still a White Lantern, and when all the Green Lanterns still believed he was dead, and that was like a long time ago. So where is Carol? And because I want to point this out a little more, I'm gonna have to give this a story 4 Carol Ferris out of 5. Where is Carol Ferris? Anyway, this issue was great. It is highly recommended. It's a good annual, and it turns out it's a good tie-in for the Dark Gods storyline. However, I don't know how much of this backstory on the Dark Gods is going to end up being optional or not, until we see the rest of the story back at the Wonder Woman comic book. So I guess we have to wait for that little detail. So, do you like the Stars of Fires? If you do, click the like button. Do you like Carol Ferris? Click the like button. Do you want Carol Ferris to be back? Guess what? Yeah, you guess right. Click the like button and comment down below and tell me what you think about this whole situation. Hashtag Jason is useless. So, thank you guys for watching. I guess I'll see you next time.